Ladies and gentlemen, the 2025 NFL season is here. At the time of me recording it, the first game of the season is about to happen in a couple hours. I don't know when you'll see this video. Maybe you'll see it today. Maybe you'll see it in a few days. But the NFL season is here. It's underway. And I want to predict how all the NFL teams are going to do, including my favorite team, the Colts, and your favorite team, whoever that may be. We're going to do every single team in the league. I'm going to tell you what their record's going to be with absolute perfect accuracy. Starting with the San Francisco 49ers. I don't know why they're first, but I guess they're first. Oh, because I think it's in alphabetical order, and they're the 49ers. That's a number. That apparently comes before the alphabet. San Francisco 49ers. I think they're going to be better than last year. I don't know what they were last year. 6-11 or something like that. Obviously, they had no Christian McCaffrey. They had a lot of injuries. I think they're going to be solid. I don't think they're like Super Bowl favorites. I don't even know if they're going to make the playoffs because they also have the Rams in their division. And apparently the Seahawks look like they could be pretty good. I think they're going to be an 8 to 10 win team, leaning towards 10. I could see the 49ers going 10-7. I am a Brock Purdy believer to an extent. I don't think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, but I think he is clearly shown that he's good enough to get them to the Super Bowl. And I think eventually get them to win the Super Bowl. You just got to dodge the Chiefs' voodoo black magic. Arizona Cardinals. I'm going to say 5 to 7 wins. I'm not a believer in Kyler Murray. I'm not a believer in whatever they got going on over there in Arizona. I just don't think they're going to get it figured out. I don't know what they're doing. I can't really name too many players. I know their defense is kind of okay. Their offense, they have some weapons. Obviously, you got Marvin Harrison Jr. Who's their Trey Benson? Who's their other James Conner? Kyler Murray, obviously, is the playmaker, but I mean, he's just all over the place, man. I just don't know if I think it's time to tear it down and do a rebuild. I just don't think it's going to work. Oddly enough, I feel like if they do decide to tear it down and they do end up getting rid of Kyler Murray, he could end up on the Colts. A weird scenario, but that's not impossible. I think they're going to win probably 7 games. I think I see them at like 7-10. I don't know. Sorry if you're a Cardinals fan. I'm not a believer. Now we got the Baltimore Ravens. I think they are going to be one of, if not the best team in the league. I don't know what there is about this team that's not to like. I like their general manager and just their front office. I like their head coach, John Harbaugh. I think obviously he's one of the best coaches in the league. I like their entire offense. They have a good offensive line. They've got pretty good receivers. They've got good tight ends. They obviously have Derrick Henry. They have Lamar Jackson. Their defense I really like. They got my boy Kyle Van Noy. In his 12th season, bro's rolling out onto the field in a wheelchair and still putting up double-digit sack numbers. I think they've done a good amount of work to overhaul their secondary. They're going to be better against the pass. I think they're winning 14-plus games this year. I think if I were a betting man and I had to bet on a team to win the Super Bowl, I think they would be my pick. God, I sound a little congested right now. I'm so sorry. It's allergies. Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills. I don't think they're going to be one of the best. I think they're going to be a top 5 team in the league. I can see them getting 12, maybe 13 wins this year. I don't see them getting 14, 15, 16, anything super crazy like that. I just don't know enough about their defense. I know supposedly their defense is supposed to be pretty good this year. I think it was okay last year. I'm not as much of a believer in their coach. I'm not as much of a believer in their defense. I'm not as much of a believer in their weapons as I am the Baltimore Ravens. Obviously, Josh Allen is incredible, but last year he was borderline Superman. A lot of people said he shouldn't have won the MVP. I get it. Lamar had better numbers. Josh Allen was literally the Bills offense. It was literally Josh Allen. It was actually, my man is putting the team on his back. And I just don't know how much you can have him do that and expect to win Super Bowls. Anyway, moving on. Carolina Panthers. I think they're going to be 5 to 7 wins this year. I can see them winning 7. I can see them even winning 8 to 9 and potentially maybe sneaking towards a wild card. I don't think they're going to be horrible, but I still don't think they're quite there yet. I think Bryce Young has a lot to prove. Tedero McMillan looks like he's going to be a really good wide receiver. Excited to see him play. Otherwise, the defense was terrible last year. I don't see a reason why it's going to be drastically better this year. 5-7, where I got them. I don't think they're going to be one of the worst teams in the league, but they could. I think they're just going to be one of those just meh teams. Chicago Bears. I am an 8-10 Chicago Bear believer. I think they're going to be 3 or 4 games better than last year, just based off Ben Johnson alone. I think Ben Johnson is going to have the offense playing much, much better. I think their defense is still pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. I like the Bears. I like the Bears. I think they've done, they did the right things to get their offensive line a little more shored up. They drafted, what, Colston Loveland? They should have drafted Tyler Warren. Idiots. They let him fall to the Colts. Morons. You'll see by the end of the season that was a mistake, I hope. Yeah, I think they're going to be pretty solid and potentially a wild card team this year. I don't think they're like a guaranteed shoe-in for the playoffs. They're obviously in a very tough division. I think Caleb Williams is going to have a good year. I can see 25-plus touchdowns and another, 5 to 8 interception-type season. I think he's going to take a little step forward, especially with Ben Johnson. Cincinnati Bengals. I also will be putting them in the 8 to 10 category, leaning towards 10. I get that their defense is horrible. I don't know what they're doing over there. The front office, they're just like, yeah, we're not going to pay anybody on defense. We're going to put $300 million into our quarterback and a couple of receivers, and then fucking good luck. No offensive line for you, Joe Burrow. No defense. We saw what happened when you did that with Andrew Luck and the Colts. Doesn't really work out. I don't see it working out here. They're probably, I don't believe in their head coach either. Is it Zach Taylor? I don't really know. I don't really like their head coach. Don't like their defense. But Joe Burrow is that dude. He is good enough to, no matter what team he's on, get them to 8 to 10 wins, in my opinion. So I can see it happening. As long as Joe Burrow stays healthy, I think they could potentially be a wild card team. Cleveland Browns. Man, I don't know. They got old man Joe Flacco, who I'm not a fan of Joe Flacco. If you guys follow me on Twitter last year, you guys know. Ever since the Colts benched Anthony Richardson to put in Joe Flacco, I don't like Joe Flacco. But he's not horrible, but he's ancient. He's old. And I don't think he's getting, he's obviously not getting any better. I don't know. It's debatable first round draft pick. I think they are going to be one of the worst teams in the league, but I can see a scenario where they win 5, 6, maybe even 7 games just off their defense alone. Who do they got on offense? They got Jerry Jeudy, Jerome Ford, Njoku? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't like it. Don't like it. Their coach is not bad. Who's their coach? Kyle Stefanski or whatever? All right, I'm going to put them up here. I think they're a 5-win team. Dallas Cowboys. This one's tricky. I might have to come back to them. I don't know. Dallas Cowboys. I think they're an 8-win team. Potentially 7. I think they're literally in between these two tiers. I don't think they're a playoff team this year. I think their defense is going to be in shambles. I think their offense, I don't know. Who do they got running the ball? Do they have Rico Dowdle still? Or Tony Pollard? Who do they have? I don't even know who they have. They have Tony Pollard? Or no? Who do they have? I don't even know who they have. I literally don't. They got that new rookie, right? Jadon Blue or whatever. I think they can win 8, 9, 10 games just based off Dak and their receivers. They're going to have to win a lot of shootouts. I don't know. I think they're an 8-win team. Broncos. This is where I'm going to start to upset some people. Broncos got a lot of fans. A lot of people love the Broncos. I actually do really like the Broncos. They're probably my second favorite AFC team. In general, although recently I really like Josh Allen and the Bills. I also really like the Ravens. But, my favorite player ever, Peyton Manning, obviously went to the Broncos, and I cheered for him in those years when they were in the postseason and the Colts weren't. However, I'm not a believer in the Broncos being one of the best teams in the league. I don't see that. Last year they just beat all the bad teams, and then every time they played a good team, they got smacked, as shown in the playoffs. I'm not that big of a believer. I know the defense is very, very good. Bo Nix is pretty good. I just don't know that they have the weapons on offense. I think they're a potential 10-win team, probably 8 or 9. Maybe they sneak into 11 wins. I don't know. I don't think they're a bad team, obviously. I would say they're up towards the top of this. I would say it's probably something like this. I think if I were to go left to right in order of confidence, these teams to get to 10 wins, it would go that order. Yeah, I don't know. Not a super, super big believer. On to the Lions. The Lions went, 15-2 last year. They lost both of their coordinators, which I know a lot of people say it's a big deal. A lot of people are saying that it's not a big deal and that people are overestimating or just really overly compensating for, oh, you lost 2 coordinators, big deal. They do obviously have a ton of offensive weapons. They've got Amon-Ra St. Brown. They got, the 2 running backs, Amir Gibbs and David Montgomery. They got Jameson Williams. Jared Goff, I think, is good. Their offensive line is probably still the best in the league. Maybe the Eagles' offensive line is better, but they're up there. Their defense is good, although everyone got hurt last year, but they still kind of performed. But defense, I really think, is more scheme generally than personnel. I don't know. I think they're definitely going to take a step back. I definitely don't see them getting 15 wins, but is it down to here? I don't think it's down to here. I don't think it's quite down to here. I think they're an 11-win team. I think they're an 11-win team. I think they're an 11-win team, realistically. I think their ceiling is 12. I think their floor is 10, maybe 9. I don't know. I haven't looked at the team schedules. I don't know any of these team schedules, so strength of schedule could kind of say, I'm going to guess, in my opinion, I think the Lions are going to go 11-6 this year. Eagles, defending Super Bowl champions. I'm going to put them up in 14-17. I don't necessarily know if they're going to win 14-17. Maybe I shouldn't put them up there. Obviously, this is more focused on winning, but I do think that they are, you know, up there as top Super Bowl contenders, you know, Super Bowl favorites. They got so many pieces back. Obviously, they lost some on defense, but again, they've done such a great job of drafting and bringing in people that just plug right in and start playing super, super well. Saying that they're going to get 14-17, though. I don't know if they're going to repeat. What did they do, 14-3 last year? I don't know. As I'm recording this, it's a couple hours before they play today. They play the Cowboys. I'm curious how that game's going to go. I think they're going to smack the shit out of the Cowboys, personally. I think it's going to be like 41-24, some shit like that. Saquon's good. Their offense is good. I really like Jalen Hurts. I think people are not giving my man the respect he deserves. I actually really like him. I wish the Colts had a quarterback like him. They do, but, you know, they don't get to play him. Anthony Richardson is not as good as Jalen Hurts, obviously. Could be. He could be, you know, if he gets there. I don't know if I want to do 14-17. They definitely are my favorite team in the NFC, but always, you know, I always feel that the AFC is stronger than the NFC, even though the Eagles won last year in the Super Bowl. I'm going to go ahead and leave them up there. I think they do. I think they win 14 games. I think they do. There's obviously a world where they win 12 or 13, and I don't think that would be a disappointment, but yeah. Falcons. I'm not a Falcons believer. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I'm going to put them over here. I think they're like a 7-win team, maybe 8-9. I don't really believe in Michael Penix. If you actually look at his stats from last year, he was kind of mid. Obviously better than Kirk Cousins was, because Kirk Cousins just fell off a cliff and was dog shit after that one game where he threw 5 touchdowns or whatever, 500 yards, whatever it was. I just don't really believe in Michael Penix. I don't think he's that good. I don't know any other part of this team that's really like stand out. Obviously, Bijan is amazing. You know, Darnell Mooney, Drake London. They definitely do have a lot of offensive weapons. I don't know. I don't see it. Maybe they're on an easy division. I'll bump them up. I think they might be an 8-9 win team. Maybe they could somehow squeak into a wild card spot. I'll put them like here. I'll put them here. Honestly, I'll put them here. They're at the bottom of the 8-10 tier for me. I'm not a big Michael Penix believer yet. Okay, just not. Sorry. Packers. I'm gonna put the Packers up here, 11-13. I'm gonna put them. No, I'm gonna put I'm gonna put them there. I think the Packers, obviously, they feel very confident in their team. They think that they're in a Super Bowl or bust type scenario. Obviously, going all in on Micah Parsons, paying him a shit ton of money, trading away draft picks. They obviously think it's time for them to win now, and I do think they have a really good roster. They have one of the youngest rosters in the league, if I recall. Their offense is great. Josh Jacobs is amazing. Jordan Love can be really good. He also can be, you know, he's a gunslinger. He's like Brett Favre. He's slinging the rock. He's going to throw 4 touchdowns or maybe 4 picks or maybe both in one game. Who knows? I think they're going to be good, though. I think they have one of the best coaches in the league in Matt LaFleur. I think they're a 12-win team, just one more win past the Lions. I think they're 12-5 and Lions are 11-6. That's where I'm at. Now the Houston Texans. I'm going to throw the Texans up here as well, 11-13. I think the Texans are going to be a 12-13 win team this year. I think they're going to be very, very good. Their defense is excellent. Who's their coach? DeMeco Ryans. He's proven to be a great coach. I think their offense is going to be better this year. Did they get Tank Dell back? I don't know if he's back yet, right? He's still like recovering, I think, right? I don't know. If they get him back, that'd be great. Joe Mixon was very good for them last year. Their offensive line was kind of shitty. Hopefully, I don't know if they've shored that up, but obviously they're in the AFC South, which we know is not the strongest division ever. I don't know what their schedule is looking like. I know they play the same teams the Colts play, right? So they play, well, roughly, they play the AFC West and NFC West. You play the Chiefs and the Chargers, and it's a rough schedule. I think I see the Texans winning 12 games. I think they're going to be a bit better than they were last year. I don't think they're quite there yet, but I think they're going to be better than they were last year, and definitely the best team in the AFC South. And now, time for the Colts. Or should I skip them and come back to them because they're my favorite team? I'm going to do that. I'm going to skip them and come back to them. Jaguars. What were they last year? Like 4-13 or something like that? 5-12, something like that? Obviously, Trevor Lawrence got hurt. I don't know, man. I'm going to put them like here. I feel very similarly about them as I do like the Cowboys. They have Liam Cohen Duval, their new head coach. He hasn't proven anything yet. I don't know anything about him. I don't believe in him. I don't really believe in Trevor Lawrence. I believe in Dak Prescott more than I do Trevor Lawrence. I believe in Caleb Williams more than I do Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has not done anything to prove to me that he is like even a top 15 quarterback in the NFL, to be honest. Brian Thomas Jr. obviously had a great year last year. Probably going to have a really good year this year. Outside of that, I don't really know who their weapons are. I don't even know who their starting running back is. I know they have, what, Tank Bigsby, who's their other guy? They got Travis Hunter. I don't know what that's going to look like. It's going to be interesting to see. I think they're an 8 to 9 win team. I don't think they make the playoffs, but it's possible. On to the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs. Boy. Obviously, last year they faltered a little bit, right? Or no, they didn't falter. What am I saying? Obviously, last year they were very, very good at 15-2, technically 15-1, but it looked like they kept pulling wins out of their ass. Like, they didn't look that good watching them play. But that's a sign of a really good team in my eyes. It's because of really good coaching, both on, Andy Reid and the offensive side of the ball, as well as Spagnuolo and the defense. I think their defense just plays super smart, and they make the right decisions in the right times. Obviously, Andy Reid is the best offensive mind of the sport, best head coach. They are undoubtedly up here, but do I think they're going to win as many games they did last year or close? Their offense just doesn't, it's just not, I don't think they're going to win as many close games as they did last year, and I don't think they have the offense to like really pull away from teams like they should. I'm going to put them here. I think they're a 12-win team, maybe 13. I think they're probably just behind the Bills in terms of regular season, but obviously if they get into the postseason, it's hard to bet against them. On to the Los Angeles Chargers, San Diego Chargers. I'm going to put them right about here. Maybe here. I think they're going to be a 9 to 10 win team, potentially. I think you got, is Jim Harbaugh or John? I don't know which. John Harbaugh is the one for the Ravens, and Jim Harbaugh is the one for the Chargers, right? Jim? I think it's Jim. Jim Harbaugh, obviously incredible coach. They did really well last year. I think they were, 11-6 last year. Justin Herbert, I think he's good, but he's got to play better in big spots. That meltdown in the playoffs was atrocious. I don't really know what weapons they have outside of Ladd McConkey. I know they got a Marion Hampton. He's probably going to be pretty good, but I don't know. I don't understand what this team wants to be, who they want to be, what they want to do. Are they going to run the ball? Are they going to throw the ball? If they're going to throw the ball, who the fuck are they going to throw to? The defense is good-ish, I guess. I don't know. There's nothing about this team that makes me go, they're definitely one of the best teams, but they're good, you know? I don't know. I think I like them. I think I believe in them more than the Broncos. Yeah, I think you're right there. They're very similar to the 49ers for me. It's like, they have to be good, but like, I don't know how good. On to the Los Angeles Rams. I think the Los Angeles Rams defensive line is excellent. They got a lot of those, they got rookies last year or 2 years ago or whatever. They've been playing really, really well. I think their defense is pretty good. They have, what's their coach's name? Why can't I think of their coach's name? He's really good, though. I can't think of their coach's name. Sean McVay. Sean McVay is a very good coach. Obviously, they have Matthew Stafford, who I think is very, very good. Offensively, they do have weapons. Kyron Williams, Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua. The only thing you worry about is Matthew Stafford, but I don't know really why you worry about him too much. He's just been good the last few years, and he's proven to be tough. I think they're going to be good. I think they're an 11-win team. I think they're right there. I have a very similar amount of confidence in these four teams. On to the Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders. They've got Geno Smith. They traded for Geno Smith. On defense, they got Max Crosby. They got Ashton Genty. They got Brock Bowers. And now they have head coach Pete Carroll. Their defense last year was not very good. I definitely did not think they were ever going to be good with, what's his name, as their head coach. Who was their head coach last year? Why can't I think of his name? Pierce? I don't know. He used to be a linebacker. You know what I'm talking about. I can't remember. I don't know. I think they're going to be a very grindy, annoying team. Like, you would hate to play them any week because it's like, oh man, we got to stop Brock Bowers. We got to stop Ashton Genty. They're going to grind us out on defense with the Pete Carroll defense. I just don't see them being that good. This one I'm really struggling with. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to go 8 wins. I think the problem is I realistically think they're 7 to 8, 7 to 9, but I don't want to put them in 7 because I think they're going to win more than 5 or 6. That's where I'm at. Dolphins is an interesting one. Mike McDaniel, I think he's a good offensive mind. I think he's making for a good coordinator. I don't know if he's a good coach. You had all this stuff coming out about like training camp and whatnot preseason. Like, yeah, they don't practice the way we do. They're kind of pussies. Like they were getting mad because the Chicago Bears in their joint practice were tackling them too hard. Tyreek Hill is, I don't know, he's making more babies every year than he is catches. The dude's out of his mind. Tua, I just don't think he's ever going to be that good. I don't think he's bad, but I don't think he's that good. I don't know. This is another tricky one, kind of similar to the Raiders. I'm gonna go on a limb. I'm gonna say they're bad. I think they're gonna be bad. I think they're very similar to the Cardinals, actually. To me, I feel very similar about them. Like I just don't feel like there's a lot of like toughness to this team. It's just kind of flash and pizzazz that doesn't really go anywhere. I think they're gonna win like 7 games. 7 games is kind of where I'm at. Now for the Vikings, this is quite the anomaly. Obviously, last year they were, 14-3, came out of nowhere. Nobody predicted that the Vikings with Sam Darnold starting would be that good, and then kind of proved themselves a little fraudulent the last couple games of the season. I don't think they're going to have that good of a season. I don't think they're going to be horrible. I don't think I don't understand why they didn't re-sign Sam Darnold. How do you have a quarterback have that good of a year, your team perform that well, and then not re-sign the guy? I really think that that's a mistake. I get that you drafted J.J. McCarthy, but like he could just sit there. You're not paying him a bunch of money. He could just sit there and learn and keep it getting better. And then if Darnold doesn't work out, you have him sitting there waiting. I don't know why they didn't do it, but I'm not an NFL executive. I think J.J. McCarthy is going to be a step back from Sam Darnold last year. As dumb as that is to say, J.J. McCarthy was a part of a Michigan offense or a Michigan team that was like run first and defense first and then run game second and then occasionally pass. I don't know. I don't see it. I think they're in here. I think they're 6-7. I think they're more than that. I think they're like an 8-win team. They have a good coach. I think they're up here. I want to put them right there. I think they're going to win 8 or 9 games. I just don't think they're going to be anywhere close to as good as they were last year. And I don't think J.J. McCarthy is going to be very good. On to the Patriots. I'm going to go right here. Patriots, I think, are going to be better than the Dolphins, but I don't think they're going to be a playoff team. A lot of people think that they're going to be really good this year, that Drake May is going to take a big step forward. I believe Drake May was 1-9 last year. Obviously, some of that falls to their head coach. I can't remember who their head coach was. Gerard Mayo. I thought he was not a good head coach. That was just, I don't know why they did that, but when they could have had, they could have had who? No, who could they have had last year? I don't remember. They could have had Vrabel. That's who their coach is this year. What the fuck am I saying? I don't know what I'm saying. They have Mike Vrabel, who I do think is a good coach. And the reason I know Mike Vrabel is a good coach is because he used to be the coach of the Titans. And when he was the coach of the Titans, you can never feel good about playing the Titans. Even if the roster seemed bad and it seemed like that team had nothing going for it, it would be a grindy, annoying, close game no matter what, because Mike Vrabel truly is a good coach. And I see that happening this year. But even when Mike Vrabel was the coach of the Titans, they still obviously had bad years. I think the Patriots are a 7-win team, realistically. I think I see them going 7-10. If Drake May is about as good as he was last year, I still just don't think the rest of the roster has enough talent for them to be a playoff team. I just don't see it. I don't see it. Maybe I'm wrong. Am I a Patriots hater because they ruined my childhood? Yes, that's what it is. There it is. First round draft pick. Woo! You don't have to worry about Spencer Rattler or Tyler Shuck next year because you're gonna be drafting someone, baby. Cade Klubnik or Nussmeier or Arch Manning, right? Because he looked so good in his first game. Saints, I mean, I don't know what I can say that anybody else hasn't said. Everyone knows that this team should be shit. They have no reason to not be shit. They honestly should probably trade like Alvin Kamara, get rid of some of their pieces, dismantle. I don't know who their head coach is. I don't know. They are always like negative $50 million in salary cap despite having no good players. It doesn't make any sense. Taysom Hill is 100 years old and he's still there, one of their best players. I don't understand this team. First round draft pick. New York Giants, they do have a good defensive line. They got Abdul Carter, Dexter Lawrence, they got Brian. Did they have Brian Burns? Did he go to I don't know who they have. I don't remember. I know they have a good defensive line. The rest of the defense, I'm not so sure about. They have Bobby Okereke, former Colt. Offensively, they got Neighbors, Tyrone Tracy, and Russell Wilson at quarterback. I don't know. I don't know what there is to like about this team. I see them like here. There's more to like with them than the Browns, but I don't see more than 7. I think they're a 6-7 win team. On to the Jets. I don't know, man. I don't. Jets, I also don't feel good about. I think they're a 5-7 win team. I don't think they're quite first round draft pick worthy. Maybe they are. I'm looking at the teams I have left, and I don't know. Maybe I got to find someone else to get down there. But realistically, there's not that many teams that typically lose more than, more than or less than, Jesus Christ. There's typically not that many teams that win less than 5 games in a season. It's usually just a couple. It's usually just 1 or 2 that go like 3-14 or 4-13 or whatever. Jets could potentially be that bad. I don't know what there is to like about this team. I don't like Justin Fields. I don't like most of their offense. Don't really like, they have Aaron Glenn as a coach who I don't think that you should be hiring defensive coaches in the modern day NFL. I think it's too important to have an offensive minded coach. All the best teams in the league have an offensive minded coach in my eyes for the most part. I don't think they're going to be very good. I don't think they're going to be horrible though. I don't think they're going to be horrible. All right. And that's that. Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers. They're always 8 to 9 wins. That is Mike Tomlin's claim to fame, is he never has losing seasons. This year, I don't know if I see them having a losing season, but I don't feel good about them, obviously. Aaron Rodgers, I think bro needs to hang it up. I think, shout out to Peyton Manning for like the 1 year he truly was dog shit. He was like, all right, that's it. I'm done. I guess that's easy to do when your team wins the Super Bowl, but he was bad that year. 2015, Peyton Manning was bad. He had to hang him up. Aaron Rodgers, I think he just has a lot of fun playing football, and he just doesn't want to stop, even though it's like, dude, it's probably time to stop. But hey, he could have a good year this year. He could have a good year this year. Who they got? They got DK Metcalf, Freiermuth, the tight end. Who else do they have? I don't know, but obviously the defense is going to be very good. One of the best in the league. It almost always is. They got TJ Watt. They got, who else they got? I don't know who else they got. Didn't they pick up a couple, like a corner or someone, or a safety? I don't remember. I think the Steelers are going to be right where they pretty much always are. I feel like they're about like right there. This is kind of a confidence meter in terms of like, I think this is, the left to right is a confidence meter. On to the Seattle Seahawks. Sam Darnold. I don't know who their head coach is. I don't know much about this team. I can hardly name more than 2 or 3 offensive players. They got rid of DK Metcalf. Who are their offensive weapons? Njigba? I literally don't know. Their defense was actually pretty good last year. Like quietly so. Like, it's just not a team that really makes a lot of noise, They just quietly are kind of like around 9-10 wins, and you're like, how? I guess the Seahawks are in the playoffs this year. I don't know how it happened, but I guess they are. I don't know. What division are they in? They're in with the Cardinals, right? It's them and the yeah. I'm gonna say 5 to 7. Actually, I'm gonna put them like here-ish. I don't know. I just don't know what there is to love about that team. I really don't. Obviously, Sam Darnold had a good year in Minnesota, but I think that was a good fit. That was just a good fit. I don't think he's gonna have that same success with Seattle. And I know that might seem contradictory to me saying that I think the Vikings should have kept Darnold. I think Darnold is a good quarterback, but I think it has to be a good fit. He had Kevin O'Connell. I just don't know if he's going to have the same success in Seattle. I really don't. I don't know what there is to really like about that team. That's where they're going. Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I actually feel really good about this team. I think Baker's going to have a big year. He's my fantasy quarterback. I think he's going to throw for 45 touchdowns. I think the offense is going to be one of the best in the league. I think the defense is going to be solid, good enough. I think this is a Super Bowl contending team this year. I really, really like them. I think I'm going to have them up about right in here with my confidence level. I like everything about the Buccaneers. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I think Baker's going to have a great year. They have Bucky Irving, Rashad White, Mike Evans is always good. They got Emeka Egbuka. Yeah, I don't know. I like Baker a lot. I think Tampa Bay is just a well-run organization. They got good coaches. They got a good defense. I don't know what there is to dislike about them. I think they're going to be solid this year. I think 12 to 13 wins. Tennessee Titans. Man, I definitely don't think they're going to be good. I think Cam Ward is an improvement over Will Levis. But I don't ever understand why they got rid of Mike Vrabel. I think that was a mistake. I think what they needed to do was bring in a really good offensive coordinator. I don't even know who their head coach is right now. I don't remember, and I don't care because I don't think he's going to be there in a couple years. Cam Ward literally, like in training camp, said that their offense was mid. So that's not confidence inspiring. Their defense has always been kind of mid. They've obviously had some years with Mike Vrabel where their defense was really good. I don't know. I don't know if they're quite a first round draft pick contender, but I don't think they're going to be good. A lot of people are saying that about the Colts. We'll get to the Colts in a second. Yeah, I don't know. I see the Titans winning 4 to 7 games tops, which makes me think they should go right. I think they're going to go right there. I don't know. Maybe here. I like, maybe here. Something like that. Maybe here. Something like that. That's where I'm at. Washington Commanders, team that made it to the NFC Championship game last year. Then they got their asses waxed by the Eagles. They did, however, shit on the Lions. which was pretty epic because Lions fans were getting way too ahead of themselves last year. Act like you've been there before. Calm the fuck down. That's coming from me, a Colts fan who watched my team go 13-0 and 14-0 in the regular season year after year and then choke in the playoffs over and over and over. The regular season doesn't mean shit. And now you've learned. Tone it down. Commanders, vice versa. You know, you got one postseason run. All of a sudden you think you're the shit. Calm down. I think Jaden Daniels is good, but I still think, you know, there's some season 2 regression that tends to happen with quarterbacks. And it's just because teams now have film on you. They know what to prepare for. They know what you like to do. They know your tendencies. They know what to watch for. Jaden Daniels, I still worry about him. He's small. He's skinny. I worry about him getting hurt. I do, however, think that they're going to be solid. I just don't know that they're going to be, you know, anywhere as good as they were last year, where I think they won, what, like 12 games or whatever. I can see them winning 10, maybe 11 games this year. I don't see them winning their division over the Eagles. I do, however, think they're going to be better than the Cowboys. Their defense is still very, very shaky. I want to put them about right in here. Right in here. I think it's like, man, more like right here, man. I think they're going to win 9 or 10 games. I think they're going to win 9 or 10. That's kind of where I'm at with them. I just don't believe in their defense. They're an old team. Jaden Daniels, I worry about getting hurt. You know, all it takes is him running one time and getting hit in a way that's just, you know, I worry about it. I worry about it. Bro's like broken rib away from being out for 6 weeks. That's where they're going to go. Don't get mad at me, Washington Commanders fans. Now on to the Indianapolis Colts, my favorite football team. I love the Indianapolis Colts. A lot of people are writing them off already. I see people saying they're going to be the worst in their division. Nah, I see people saying they're going to be the worst in the league. Now, don't get me wrong. If all of a sudden we start off and they're 2-6 or some shit, then yeah, tank. Be the worst in the league. Please, let us get a quarterback. However, I know this team better than most other people know this team. Not a lot of people pay attention to the Indianapolis Colts. Why? Because they're the Indianapolis Colts. And unless they're literally one of the best teams in the league, nobody talks about them. If you look at this team, there's a lot to like. There really is. They have a lot of talent everywhere. Their D-line, in theory, should be really, really talented. Grover Stewart is one of the best run-defending D tackles in the league. Forrest Buckner is one of the best all-around defensive tackles in the league. He's not top 3, but he's maybe top 5, definitely top 10. Very, very good. They have good edge rushers, good potential with edge rushers. Leatu Latu, I do think, is going to be better this year. They have JT Tui Muli Luli Loli. They have Kwity Paye. They have Ebukam, I think, is back now. They have a lot of good pieces on the defensive line. Their corners are good. They got Charvarius Ward. They signed Cam Bynum as a safety. I think their secondary is going to be better than they were last year. Their linebackers, I still worry about a little bit. Zaire Franklin he's not that great, but he's not horrible. They got rid of EJ Speed. Thank God. EJ Speed is horrible. So glad that guy is gone. Listen, EJ Speed, if somehow you're watching this video, I appreciate your time with the Colts, but you looked like me when I played linebacker in middle school. Bro was flat-footed waiting for shit to run into him. It was tragic. They also got rid of Gus Bradley, who I think was a pretty lame duck defensive coordinator. Basically, he just sat in cover 2 all game and said, I'll figure it out. And then the Colts could never get their defense off the field. Now they got Lou and a Ramarumo from the Bengals, who obviously we know the Bengals' problem on defense wasn't the coordinator. It's the fact that they don't pay anybody to play defense. I think Lou is going to be a good defensive coordinator, much more aggressive, much more exotic, much more, hard to predict and hard to figure out than Gus Bradley was. That's the problem with Gus Bradley. If you lined up against a Gus Bradley defense, you could look at them and know what was going to happen, basically, which is why they got torn up. They got torn to shreds, pieced up down the field. And on the offensive side of the ball, the Colts have a really good offensive line. They're bringing back 3 of their offensive line starters in Quentin Nelson, one of the best guards in the league, Bernard Ryman, who's proved to be a really, really good tackle, and Braden Smith, who's proved to be a really good tackle. They lost their right guard, Will Fries, who was really good, and they lost their center, Ryan Kelly, who was really good. So their line is slightly worse. However, we'll see. Maybe the guy stepping in can be just as good. They have weapons. You guys don't believe they have weapons? Michael Pittman Jr., I know a lot of people don't believe in him, but he hasn't had anybody throwing him the ball in like 3 or 4 years. He is a very reliable, big physical receiver. Michael Pittman is like the Mike Evans of the Colts. Obviously not as good, but he hasn't had as good of players, as good of quarterbacks throwing to him. Josh Downs is as good of a slot receiver as there is in the NFL, similar to like a Ladd McConkey, maybe not quite as good after the catch as Ladd McConkey, but he's slippery, man. He gets open, he gets underneath. I see Danny Dimes dropping little dinks and dunks to him. Tyler Warren is going to be a playmaker. He's going to be getting screens. He's going to be getting balls over the middle. He's going to be getting some big Jump balls, I can see that happening. Alec Pierce is as good of a deep threat as there is in the NFL. He's super fast. He can win the jump balls. They have a lot of weapons. Jonathan Taylor, obviously an incredible running back. Top 5 in the league. Top 3 last year, I do believe. And somehow snubbed from the NFL top 100. What the fuck is up with that? Absolute horse shit. I think there's a lot to like with his team. I think Shane Steichen is one of the better offensive minds in the league. I think he's very, very good. I think he's very creative. I think he alone can keep them in games that they don't necessarily deserve to be in. And I do think Danny Dimes is not going to be horrible. I really do. I have copium. I think Danny Dimes with Shane Steichen and all those weapons around him will be efficient. I don't think he's going to be a big threat. I don't think he's a force amplifier, but I think he's going to be able to get the ball into the hands of the playmakers, which is why I think Danny Dimes is going to be able to get the ball into the hands of their weapons, which is why he won the job over Anthony Richardson. I think Anthony Richardson is a playmaker in itself when he has the ball in his hands, which is why I think he has a winning record. He's 8-7, and I do wish Anthony Richardson was starting. But I think Shane Steichen is going, hey, we have all these weapons. We just need to make sure that when we do call a pass play, the ball gets into the hands of the weapons, and they do the work from there. I don't think the Colts are going to be the worst team in the league, so they are not going to be a first-round draft pick contender. I don't think they're going to go 5-7. I think it's possible, but I don't think they're going to do it. I think they are somewhere in... That's where I've got the Colts. I think realistically, they're probably going to win 8 games this year, maybe 7. I think they have the potential to win 9 or 10. Their schedule is also difficult. They play the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Texans twice. They play the Rams. They play the Chargers. They play the Niners. They play the Broncos. I mean, they basically play a lot of playoff teams from last year and potential playoff teams this year. That really is going to be the thing I think that does them in, is that they're just going to be playing teams that are just slightly better at quarterback. And if I had my prediction of the Super Bowl, it will be the Ravens and the Eagles in the Super Bowl, and I think the Ravens would win. That's my Super Bowl pick. These are my tiers. Let me know what I got wrong in the comments. Rage out, crash out, give me engagement. Click the like button, click the dislike button, click the subscribe button if this is your first time on my second channel, Wildcat, as well. Take a look around. We got Madden videos if you like the NFL. This is it. I think I'm pretty comfortable with it. Obviously, I think any of these last 5 or 6 teams here could be a 4-win team, but I don't think they will be. I think we're only gonna have one truly really bad team this year, and I think that's gonna be the Saints. Obviously, that's probably not what's gonna happen, but hey, this is what I'm seeing. Okay. I don't know what else there is to say about this. I guess your playoff teams are, how many playoff teams are there? 14. Here's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Somewhere in here are your 14 playoff teams. All right, well, leave a like if you guys enjoyed this video. Leave me those comments down below. And I guess we'll check in at the end of the season to see how my predictions were. Okay, have a good rest of your day, and let's watch some football. I'm excited. Say goodbye.